Slow down, grab the wall. Wiggle like you're trying to make your ass fall off. Gas pedal, gas pedal.
Yeah, no.
As much as I love 02, the innuendos bother me so much. That, and I really don't like mech anime in general.
What? No, I'll be having none of this. None of this.
Subtitle.
Pick it up.
What?
Darling in the Franxx. I think you should pick up Darling in the Franxx.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you right there, right? Because, okay. So, I completely understand where you're coming from about certain things. Actually, to be honest, I actually don't understand where you're coming from. Darling in the Franxx is amazing. Episode 13 of Darling in the Franxx completely and utterly changes the game. It looks amazing, it sounds amazing, and all that fan service that you were complaining about in your video, all of that dies down. Honestly, it's the most fantastic example of world building and storytelling and animation, and it's gorgeous and it's beautiful, and it's like somebody dropping Steins Gate before episode 12.
Ooh. Alright, if you say so.
2 hours later.
Hey Sloan, so did you watch it?
So I just caught up to Darling in the Franxx, and what do you mean by game changer exactly?
How did episode 13 not make you bawl your eyes out?
By the way you put it, you made it seem like it was some sort of masterpiece. But it was just a regular backstory episode.
It's a masterpiece!
I hate being overhyped. This has been happening to me more and more within the last few months. Now I know what you're gonna say. Sloan, just don't listen to the hype, ignore it, and formulate your own opinion. There's 2 reasons why I can't do that. The most obvious one is that I am a public figure in the online anime community. Whether I like it or not, it's my duty to be in the know of what's popular and what isn't. The second being that there is a chance I could miss out on an amazing anime if I ignore the hype. Like yeah, there have been times where I was let down by hype, most recently being Darling in the Franxx and Megalobox, more on that later. But there have been times when I could have missed out on an incredible series. I remember my sophomore year of high school, during the end of the winter 2014 season, I just befriended the new transfer student and she wouldn't stop talking about Kill la Kill, which at that time had just ended. She convinced me to watch it, but I dropped it after episode 7 because it was just so stupid. She kept yelling at me for dropping it, so after a month I decided to pick Kill la Kill back up again. I binged it over the weekend because I couldn't put it down. And then I convinced my other friends to watch it. If my friend hadn't stopped talking about Kill la Kill, I would have missed out on one of the best anime of this decade. Now, even though I hate being overhyped, I can't say I never overhyped someone else. I can recall 2 instances when I overhyped a good amount of people. In 2016, I went ballistic over Bungo Stray Dogs every single week. And in 2017, my first impressions of recreators really made a stir in the community. You know, a great man once said, "That was totally wicked! Go watch this anime! That was freaking hype! Oh my gosh, yes!" Mainly because the series wasn't as epic to most people as I put it in the video, so a lot of people ended up dropping it. Ever since the Recreators incident, I've been choosing my words carefully. I never scream into the mic when I talk about a series I like, or only use words like fun, awesome, epic, must-watch, masterpiece throughout the entire review or discussion. I haven't had a "you overhyped me" comment in over a year. However, there are times where we rely on hype. For example, Tony the Black Critic Guy and I's opinions on anime and movies are usually the same 9 out of 10 times. That's why I subscribe to him. If he says a film is bad and I haven't seen it yet, then I'll probably stay away from that film. So hype isn't always a bad thing if the person you're relying on shares your taste in anime. But before you find someone that shares similar opinions to yours, you have to listen to everyone's. So when do you stop? How can you tell what the person is saying is true? Or should you give up and go at your own pace and just ignore recommendations completely? Well, let me go back to the 2 anime I mentioned earlier. In Darling in the Franxx case, I was in this odd state of watching it and dropping it, then watching it and dropping it. During those periods when I dropped it, something happened in the latest episode that no one on Twitter would shut up about. Whether it be an episode that was apparently great or an episode that seriously pissed people off, I couldn't go anywhere on Twitter without someone talking about it even for a few tweets. And every time I was let down. This happened 3 times, with episode 6, episode 13, and episode 14. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying those episodes or the series as a whole is bad. Heck, I'm not even gonna say it was average. But when you have such a large group of people praising these episodes to high heaven, only to find out their choice of words didn't describe the episode at all, you're gonna be disappointed. So now I just scroll past any tweet of Darling in the Franxx until I've seen the episode myself. Megalobox is a different story. I wasn't planning on watching this anime at all, but then the first episode premiered and the top AniTubers of the community were all saying how it's automatically Anime of the Season and a huge contender for Anime of the Year. So of course I immediately checked out the first episode with my expectations through the roof. And I got bored. So bored that I paused the episode after 18 minutes and didn't finish it until 6 days later. I couldn't understand why people were loving this anime, so I blatantly tweeted that I think they like it just because it's retro. And what do you know? I was right? I didn't want to give up on Megalobox, so I decided to ignore what people were saying and formulate my own opinion from scratch. In short, I still don't think the anime is great. The story and the characters are pretty basic, but I like it for the cool vibes. Not the retro vibes, but the cool atmosphere reminiscent to that of Samurai Champloo. So I'm gonna bring up these questions again. When do you stop listening to the hype? How can you tell what a person is saying is true? Or should you just give up and go at your own pace and just ignore recommendations completely? What we gotta do is pick and choose. Pay really close attention to what the excited person is saying. Are they actually explaining what makes the series or episode so great and masterful? Or are they using only happy adjectives like cool, lit, awesome, and so on? Or are they saying anime of the year even though the anime isn't even close to being over? Is the tone of their voice more on the fast-paced and shouting side? Of course, if the person likes the same thing you do and are using those terms and expressions, then by all means, listen to them.
Wait, Sloan, are you saying we need to be completely objective? We can't express our happiness for a series at all?
Whoa, buddy, don't jump the gun. If all you want to do is be happy and shout your love for an anime, that's cool. Just don't lead people astray. For example, I recently tweeted that SAO Alternative Gun Gale Online is the most entertaining anime of the season. I made it clear in the beginning of the tweet that I'm well aware of all the anime that's airing. I don't say that Gun Gale Online is the anime of the season or that it's great. Instead, I say that it's entertaining and fun. You can basically shorten this tweet to, I think GGO is a blast. With my tweet, not a single person will start the series thinking that it'll be the next best thing. Instead, they'll go into it knowing that they can have a good time. And if you're recommending an anime that you absolutely love, I do want to hear the passion in your voice. Just don't go overboard. Make sure to explain why you feel this way, and try to say some of the bad points of the anime. If you honestly think the show you're recommending is flawless, then all you have to do is say, in my opinion. Those 3 words are enough to make people understand your hype, but also realize that this isn't factual. Therefore, we can go watch that anime and experience it for ourselves, while considering your points instead of holding on to them. So what do you think, guys? Do you think we need to be more careful with our choice of words? Or do you think this is all just inevitable and we're just gonna say how we feel right off the bat? Special shout out to Chang Musty, Jordan Setsuna, and, okay, how do you pronounce this? Tome X Diamond? For donating to my Patreon. If you'd like a shout out in the next discussion video, then click on the link in the description to donate to my Patreon. And make sure you subscribe to Isla McTeer. Thank you so much, girl, for helping out with that hilarious skit in the beginning. She also makes anime discussion videos and reviews. And also check out the links in the description for my social media and my Hidive link so that you can get a free month trial with Hidive, a brand new streaming service. I'm your female otaku, sayonara.
It's a masterpiece! Oh, I don't know how long I could hold that.